Okay, good evening, everyone, in person, online. We're here for a regular council meeting of April 19th, thank you. It's been a long March, we are going to just jump right into it. Once we get to the public hearing, because I know a lot of us in person are here for specifically that, I will do the procedures and how everything is done. But at that time, at this time, we'll just go right into the meeting. Item number 1, meeting called to order. Oh, sorry, I'll do quick introduction. My apologies. So we have with us Councillor Joel Lemoine. Good evening. Councillor Shane Pelletier. Good evening. Our CEO, Mitch Duval. Good evening. Myself, Chris Ewan. Councillor Janine Boulanger. Good evening. Councillor Jason Bondarchuk. Good evening. And our Assistant CEO, Dominic Lemoine. Good evening. Now we'll get into it. So item number 1, meeting called to order. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine. Any questions before we open the meeting? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Open the meeting at 7:01 p.m. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Pelletier. Council's okay going through the agenda as is? Yes? Yep. Okay. Any additions, changes? No? I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 3, adoption of the minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine.
Last regular council meeting was held on April 4th, at which time council did agree to enter into a development agreement regarding a property, as well as proceeded with first bylaw reading for the financial plan, as well as a street name change in the Grand Point area. Other than that, it was a very short meeting and to the point. So.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Council, do you have any comments or discussion before I call for the question? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 4, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, thank you. Second. Councillor Boulanger.
Reports provided to council come from Councillor Bondarchuk regarding the Richat Library and as well as the Richat Senior Services. Any questions can be directed to Councillor Bondarchuk.
Any questions for those committee reports to Councillor Bondarchuk? Nothing? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 5.1, accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Pelletier.
2 batches to be that have to be approved that are already paid. Batch 17135 in the amount of $5,400, and batch number 17154 in the amount of $120,376. The bigger batch is a couple of capital purchases that we proceeded with.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll open up for council comments, questions. Council, do you have anything you wanted to ask? No? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 5.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second by Councillor Boulanger.
In regards to the not paid, we have 2 batches, 17151 in the amount of $356,000 and 17152 in the amount of $2,500. The bigger batch summary has been provided for council for their review. If there's any questions, please answer them.
Thank you, council. Questions? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 5.3, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor, second. Councillor Boulanger.
Payroll for staff and public works, number 7. There's some overtimes there. Those are shared notes to see exactly what those are, as well as the first. As well as the first quarter for the Richat Fire Department payroll, also provided for council.
Thank you. Open it for council discussion. Council, anything to ask, add, comment on? No, call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. And that brings us to public hearings, Mr. CEO.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I'll just go over on how the public hearings are going to work this evening. So I will call the public hearing item number, and then the CEO will speak on that, or did you want to just do them all?
Continue with your
story. The CEO will speak on that once I call the item number. and then I will open the public hearing at X time, and then I will ask the applicant if they have any presentation they'd like to make, in person or online. If there is one, then they'll come up, or they'll turn on their video and their microphone, and then they will speak, and then I will turn it over to anyone wishing to speak in favor, in person. Then at that time, if anyone wishes to speak in favor, in person, you'll raise your hand, I'll call you up, you'll come to the chair, sit down, give us your name. Do you need the address too, Mr. Studio? No, just the name for the present, for your discussion. And then I will go through the list there, and then I will go anyone in favor online or on the phone. If there is somebody online, they'll again turn on their video, unmute themselves, or on the phone, they'll unmute themselves and they'll speak with their name, please. Then I will go to anything received in favor. Now tonight, because we have received a plethora of letters, I have decided as chair, we will not be reading out the letters in totality, but the CEO has point formed all the information that was received from every letter, and council has reviewed, they've assured me they have reviewed the letters beforehand, be it in favor or against, so that's the decision I've made. Once we've gone through anything received in favor, I will go to anyone wishing to speak against in person. Same thing, you'll raise your hand, I'll call you up, you'll sit down, and you'll say your name, then you'll do your presentation, I'll go through the list. Anyone else wishing to speak against on the phone or online, same thing, turn your microphone on and your video, and unmute yourself if you're on the phone. You'll make your presentation, and then anything received against, again, the CEO has compiled a list of anything for the objections for us to review. And then I will ask for kind of a cycle again. So if there anyone wanting to make extra comments, clarifying questions, maybe you're not in favor or against, but you just want to have some questions answered, that's okay. Raise your hand, come up, and we'll get you up here. And then also the applicant may be asked to answer some of the questions if they had some questions to be answered. And then after that, I will close the public hearing at X time, and then council at that point will have a decision, and that's when they'll be doing their debate. So I do ask that people please respect council's discussion, and I also ask everyone to please respect whoever is making the presentation, and just wait your turn. Everyone's going to get a chance to speak if that's what needs to happen. But please it echoes a lot in here. I can hear everything. I can hear every little whisper, so please keep it quiet while that's happening. I think I've said everything.
Correct.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving forward, instead of repeating my spiel as to notification and how that unveiled itself, I'll do it now, and it will be applicable to all the public hearings that we'll be going into. So basically, the Planning Act requires us to give notification to all properties that are subject to the surrounding property in question of 100 meters. What we've also done is sent that to the McDonald-Richelieu Planning District, Public Works Manager, the Building Inspector. Council have received a copy of those notifications as well. It was also posted on site. We also posted on our bulletin board at the RM office and also on our website. Now, when it's a local matter pertaining to a certain town, those are also posted for Saint-Gap at the case, and also at the Dépanneur Cheyenne, and in Saint-Adolphe at the Esso and the case. And what we've done also is sent one connect message throughout the whole municipality with all the public hearings that are listed on the agenda tonight. So, of course, you don't want me to repeat that 7 times, so I will mention it once. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Okay, so without further ado, we will get into it. Item 6.1.1, C7 2023, Orenda Commodity Services, 375 Batoche Way.
The proposal is to allow an agricultural processing facility in a industrial agricultural zone, including a seed cleaning facility, grain storage, and packaging.
Thank you. I'll open up the public hearing at 7:10 p.m. Is there an applicant that would like to make a presentation at this time? Online, in person, on the phone? Is there anything done? No. Is he not on the call?
What's his name?
Bucky, Adam? No.
He was originally.
This is Orenda.
is Arenda. Yeah, I guess we made our presentation already.
You're
We don't have
welcome again, if you wanna do it again, you can.
Oh,
If you
no,
don't,
we're
no,
good.
you're good, okay. Does council, so I'm just gonna ask if council's questions for Orenda, if that's okay? Council, do you have any clarifying questions for Orenda? No? Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, in person? Anyone wishing to speak in,
Sure, yeah, I'll speak in favor, I'll just introduce myself, I'm Tyler Mitchell, I'm representing Muxy on the sale, on the purchasing side, so, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
it's all good.
I'm so excited.
My first day too, so okay.
I think I'll share this together, I'll do that in about 30 seconds, sorry to interrupt your,
Okay, thanks, Ryan, thank you, Ryan. Okay, so, anyone wishing to speak in favor, in person, or online, or on the phone? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received in favor.
Anyone wishing to speak against in person? Anyone wishing to speak against online or on the phone? Anything received against?
Nothing received against.
Okay, one final round. If anyone wants to make any general comment, ask any questions in regards to this specific hearing, speak in favor or against, online, on the phone, or in person, go ahead. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:12 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belanger, second by Councillor Bodnar.
Therefore, be it resolved that conditional use application C7/2023 to allow an agricultural processing facility, including seed cleaning facility, grain storage, and packaging, is approved, subject to the following conditions. One, applicant shall ensure that this use is not noxious, offensive, or hazardous by reason of emissions or production of odor, dust, refuge matter, waste, vapor, gas, smoke, vibration, or noise, and that this use shall not create a nuisance beyond the sight line. Two, that the applicant shall obtain appropriate building permits for any proposed construction from the municipal office. Three, that the applicant shall not generate undue traffic and congestion in the neighborhood. Four, that any lighting may be located and arranged or shielded so that no light is directed at any neighboring property or roadway. Five, any signage shall comply with the municipal zoning bylaw. Six, that all storage-related materials and equipment must be used indoors unless fenced and or screened to the satisfaction of the municipality. Seven, that all operations of this facility shall be entirely within the enclosed building. And eight, that the applicant shall sign a confirmation letter accepting the terms of the order, and that there may be site audits conducted to ensure compliance, and any non-compliance may be caused to revoke the conditional use at any time.
Mr. Seal, open for council's discussion, debate. Council, did you have anything you wanted to debate on? No. Nothing. Okay. I will call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We'll move on, but before we move on, I forgot to mention that if you are coming up, I am gonna set a time limit of max 10 minutes for any presentation anyone makes, be it presenter or someone speaking in objection or in favor. And I'm also gonna limit to repetition, so if there is somebody that has a concern, they will voice that concern once, and if somebody else or someone else has the same concern, they can just come up and say that they are against it, and that's it. I don't want repetition, because we do not have a lot of time. We only have till, I believe, 10 PM, before we'd have to cut the meeting, correct?
Curfew, unless you started the topic, you could run into midnight if you had to.
Okay, well, I don't wanna do that, so I will say no repetition. Moving on to 6.1.2, C10 2023, Arm of Great Shot, Sandoval Daycare.
The proposal is to allow a child care services facility in a commercial general zone.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing at 7:15 PM. We would be the presenter.
That would be I might as well speak on behalf in favor of our proposal. This is in regards to land within the ring dike of Sandolph at the southwest corner. The province has committed 23,000 child care spaces in Manitoba by March of 2026, and the funding, the majority of that build. For those that are familiar with the Ile des Chênes project, it will be the same project occurring in Saint Adolphe. The initial phase 1 project within Ile des Chênes included 9 daycares within the Winnipeg metro region. This is phase 2, so the province has announced 4 to 5 more communities, and Saint Adolphe is included in this. The concept of the building is basically to have a factory cut, prefabricated package and build components on site. So if you want a better idea, please drive by the Ile des Chênes site that is located on the old PTH just south of town. You have on the screen a conceptual drawing of what that building would look like for a 74 spot daycare. Those spots are for 16 infant and 58 preschool. We are currently working with the contractor for siting the building at the Saint Adolphe location, and we're going to try to include trying to keep as many trees there on site as possible, with the understanding that we may have to take down 1 or 2 depending on road access and building location and fencing for the playground. We are also working with Manitoba Highways regarding the access onto that property off of PR 200, and that access will be directly across from the Chiron Creek development, south of town. Couple examples of the building and site, but please, this is only conceptual, not designed for the Saint Adolphe location at this point. The site will also include about 27 to 30 parking spots. We'll also include a pickup and drop-off area on the site. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Studio. Is there anyone else, is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of hearing, anyone else wishing to speak in favor in person? Anyone wishing to speak in favor online or on the phone? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received in favor.
Okay, and anyone wishing to speak against in person? Anyone wishing to speak against online or on the phone? Anything received against?
Nothing received against. However, we did receive a letter of concern regarding the site from David Paranowswich-ish, who lives on Brodeur, which is immediately south outside of the Ring Dike. The questions would be, how will this affect my property tax? Answer, it will not. Your assessment value is based on the value of your property. It may help on the resale of your home. If they have a young family with kids, it would be a short walk to the daycare. Where will the road access be for the daycare? I just explained that. It will be across from the Chiron Creek development. And are the old established trees in the plot going to be, on the land, going to be left alone? Every year I see hawks and eagles using those trees for nests. And again, as best as possible, we will try to limit the tree damage pending site location.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. CEO. I'll do one final call if there's anyone wishing to speak in favor or against, online, in person, on the phone, or make any general comment from any of those facilities. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:19 p.m. Do I have a mover? Councilor Lemoine, second Councilor Pelletier.
Therefore, be resolved that conditional use application C-10/2023 to allow a child care services is approved, subject to the following conditions. That 1, the applicant shall apply for a Part 3 building permit from the RM of Hanover prior to the construction of the proposed building. 2, that the applicant ensures that all proposed construction conforms to the Manitoba building codes, fire codes, health standards, labor laws, and other municipal and/or provincial permits and approvals as may be required. 3, that any lighting must be located and arranged and shielded so that no light is directed at the neighboring properties. 4, that the applicant shall obtain appropriate driveway permits from Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure for proposed driveway access. 5, that the applicant shall comply with municipal noise bylaw 14-2003. Not too sure about that one with the screaming kids, but we'll try to do our best. 6, the applicant shall not cause the generation of undue traffic congestion in the neighborhood. 7, that the items stored outdoors shall be kept in a tidy manner so not to create any unsightly appearance. 8, that the signage shall comply with municipal zoning bylaw. 9, that the applicant shall provide proof to the municipality that they obtain all required approving and licenses from the province of Manitoba. And 10, that will sign off on the confirmation letter accepting the terms of the order, and there will be site audits conducted to ensure compliance, and any non-compliance may be caused to revoke the conditional use at any time.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Open up for council debate. Council, any comments on this? I know we're seeing one of these projects in Illusion looking great. Look forward to seeing one in San Adolfo.
No, I think it's great opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. Moving on to 6.1.3, we're gonna batch two together because it's in the same realm here. So we're looking at 6.1.3, C11, 2023, Mivelez, 1659 Sid Road, and 6.2.1, V7, 2023, Mivelez, 1659 Sid Road. So we'll do the public hearing for both of those combined.
The conditional use is to allow a garden suite in an agricultural zone, and the variation is in regards to said garden suite to vary it from, if approved, from 860 square feet to 2,000 square feet.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing at 7:22 p.m. Is there anyone, is there an applicant that would like to make a presentation in person, online, or on the phone? You got nothing? Okay, is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, in person? Anyone wishing to speak in favor, online, or on the phone? Anything received in favor?
Letter that they have no objections.
Okay, perfect. Anyone wishing to speak against in person? Anyone wishing to speak against online or on the phone? Anything received against?
Nothing received against.
I'll give it one final call. Anyone wishing to make any general comments, speak in favor or against, in person, online, or on the phone? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:23 p.m. We will go for a mover for 6.13. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine.
Therefore, be resolved that conditional use application C11-2023 is approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, that the location of the garden suite shall comply with provincial setbacks requirements following the technical review of the current livestock operations. 2, that the applicant shall apply and be approved for a building permit through the rural municipality of Richot. 3, the garden suite may not use the existing ejector for waste disposal. A septic field or holding tank will be acceptable, located according to the requirements of the Provincial Department of Environment, Climate and Parks. 4, that the garden suite must be located within a minimum of 200 feet of the ejector, not within a minimum of 200 feet. 5, that the garden suite shall comply with the zoning bylaw, and unless the approved variation is obtained from council. 6, that the garden suite shall be occupied by the owner-occupier of the existing livestock operation. And 7, that the applicant will sign a confirmation letter accepting the terms, and there may be site audits, and non-compliance may cause to be revoked at any time.
Thank you, Mr. Shill. I will open up for council discussion. Council, anything to add, comment on?
I don't know, I just think this is gonna set a precedent. They're at capacity, they've got other lands, there's other options. I'm kind of disappointed the applicant's not here to explain it a bit more. To go from 864 square feet to 2,000 is a big jump. Just to be closer to their other house, I think there's other ways that they could be looking at this, and like I said, set precedent, and
I appreciate that input. Anything else from council?
If I can add, I mean, it's a large facility, I mean, I have my background here too, so they have quite a few employees in the area and directly on site, so finding housing for these people also creates a whole different other challenge, so, again, I see it as not, you know, he's not doubling in capacity there, but I think there's a long list of conditions there that it follows there, so I think, you know, this would be a good initiative to, not only help themselves, but help, find, places locally for their employees to live and work.
Anything else from council?
As far as conditional use, I've got no problem with them having a garden shed, or garden suite, sorry.
And just for clarification of council, the municipality will not provide a building permit for the garden suite until the technical review is completed. So if you think they're over capacity or whatever the case, that will come up at the technical review point. They will need to address all those matters that concern the technical review, and once upon completion of that, then the RM would be in a better position to grant them a building permit for their gardens suite.
Sorry for the wrong.
I was referring to overcapacity on buildings, so they've got a house,
Okay.
they've got a trailer that houses people, and now they're asking for a garden suite, so that's what I was saying.
Unfortunately, it's already, the public hearing is closed, so we can't have any consultation from outside. Unless council would like to hear.
Is it the applicant?
Is there-
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I go there, that's why, I don't know.
No, I'd be happy to hear.
Sure,
No, it's
we'll
against
have
us.
the I'll allow it, we'll have the applicant come up, and, council can ask the questions they have.
Sit down,
Yeah, sure,
yeah, okay, the first,
Sorry, one
Point
minute.
of order, we'll have to reopen.
Okay, I'm gonna open up the public hearing, that's okay, I'm gonna open up the public hearing at 7:27 PM. Council allows it. Okay. The applicant would like to make a quick presentation with questions from council. Go ahead, Mr. Applicant.
the first thing, the house, they have the main house on I live over there. And now my son will take this house with his wife and the kid, and me, I want to build the one beside. And 850 square feet, I still on the business, and that can be 850 square feet.
Okay.
I have some worker, I have some meetings, and the trailer, I have 3 workers for meetings. Really, I need that. And I can move the house 1,000 feet from my property, but you need to restart everything, bring power, everything, and you have the house on the field. You have 2,000 acres, I build the house everywhere. It makes sense to build the house on dike when you have 7 acres grass in front of my house, main house now, and that's why.
Councilor Blanchard, did you have any questions?
Just about the trailer, if you could explain the trailer, you said you have three
I have three workers
three
inside.
workers living in the trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's all
No
I have.
follow-up question, anyone else on council have any questions for the applicant? No? Okay, thank you, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'll close the public hearing now at 7:29 PM. I don't think I need to move that a second, thank you. Okay, going back to council debate, where were we? Anyone else have any comments to make? Councilor Blanchard, you're good? Okay, I will, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is defeated. So then we do not need to continue on to 6.2.1,
Correct.
okay? Moving on to 6.1.4, C12, 2023 Cobblestone Home, 684 Discovery Drive.
The proposal is to allow an industrial multiplex up to 6 rental units in an existing building in a industrial agricultural zone.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing at 7:30 PM. Is there an applicant that would like to speak on the project or on the public hearing? In person, online, or on the phone? No. Okay, is there anyone wishing to speak in favor, in person, online, or on the phone? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received.
Anyone wishing to speak against, in person, online, or on the phone? Anything received against?
Nothing received against.
Okay, one final call for, general comments, questions. Anyone wishing to speak in favor or against, in person, online, or on the phone? Nothing from anywhere. I will close the public hearing at 7:31 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belanger, second. Councillor Pelletier, thank you.
Therefore, be resolved that conditional use application C-12/2023 to allow the industrial multiplex in the MA zone industrial agricultural is approved, subject to the following conditions. One, the applicant shall enter into a development agreement with the municipality per zoning bylaw. Two, that the applicant shall comply with the municipal noise bylaw. Three, that the hours of operation shall be limited between 7 AM and 11 PM. Four, that any outdoor lighting must be located, arranged, or shielded so that the light is not directed into any neighboring property or roadway. Five, that the applicant shall ensure that all proposed construction conforms to the Manitoba building codes, fire codes, and any other municipal and/or provincial permits and approvals as may be required. The applicant may always seek to the help of an engineer, architect, or other professionals who are certified in the field to ensure compliance. Six, that the applicant is to apply for and obtain a building permit from the mayor of Rechock. Seven, that the occupancy permits will be required for each individual unit of the building. Further drawings will be required indicating fire separations depending on the proposed 8 occupancies adjacent to one another. 8, that the applicant complies with the littering bylaw. 9, that signage shall comply with the municipal zoning bylaw. 10, that the exterior storage is to be contained within a maximum 10-foot privacy fence and hidden from public. And 11, that they sign a confirmation letter accepting the terms, site audits, and any non-compliance issues may be caused to revoke the conditional use.
Thank you. I will open it up for council debate. Council, any comments, questions?
No, he's filling them up.
Yeah, he does good work there for sure. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, before we move on, council, are we good to continue? The next hearing will be our longest one. Water refresh. You're good? Yeah. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, so we, again, will bunch up two here. We're gonna do item 6.1.5, C13, 2023, Iman Precious Meat, 570 and 618 Batoche Way, as well as 6.2.2, VA 2023, Iman Precious Meat, 570 and 618 Batoche Way. We will do that public hearing, both those for the public hearing right now.
The conditional uses, the proposal is to allow for an abattoir and meatpacking facility in the industrial agricultural zone. The variation is to vary the minimum required site area for that proposal from 10 acres to 5.4 acres in that zone.
Thank you. I will open up the public hearing at 7:34 PM. Is the applicant here or online wishing to make a presentation or on the phone?
Online presentation.
Yeah, go ahead.
First, thank you, Mr. Mayor and honorable councilors, and also all the attendees. Greetings. I was planning to be there in person, but I'm here with my family in Europe, just visiting my kids. And my apologies. It's 3:30 in the morning here in our local time. So apologies if I sound a little bit off. Iman Precious Meat intends to build a new provincially inspected for poultry processing plant. This poultry processing plant, has been planned firstly to provide halal custom certified poultry meat. The plant will be designed approximately 3,000 square feet for the initial stage and potentially to expand to 5,000 square feet in the near future. And in the first stage, we plan to intend to process about 3,000 per week whole birds for bulk sale, fresh 10 per box. And we estimated that 5 to 8 local employees will be required to do the work. The plant will be equipped with high and new tech machines and will meet the health standards and provincial health regulations. The highest levels of animal welfare will be maintained. Live poultry will be processed as received. No holding of live birds on site for future processing. Trucks will be unloaded under attached shelter, protected from sun and element to minimize odor. No cleaning of trucks or trailers will be permitted on site. The facility is being planned to be built in Senegal, Manitoba. The select location has a connection to municipal water supply and municipal sewer system. Facility will be located in about 5 acres in industrial agriculture zone, which permits abattoir as a conditional use. We are applying for the conditional use and service connection in connection with this environmental application as well. We want to be very, very clear to the, our neighbors that all disposal of organic waste, such as blood, feather, solid waste, we intend to hire a commercial rendering company, Darling, to pick up a waste for rendering, alternate being Brady Road landfill approved for animal waste as well. All organic waste will be held in leak-proof containers until picked up. Any date condemned birds from transport or inspection to be held in leak-proof containers until picked up as well. To further control odors and pests, all organic waste products will be kept inside plant under refrigeration until picked up. Non-biological waste and recycling to be handled by GFL Municipal Services. We intend to run a very clean and neat operation. Why are we having this in Senegal? Because currently we are unable to secure reliable supply of chicken from large processors that will meet our demands. No provincial chicken plants in Manitoba to purchase chicken from. Currently, we rely on Maple Leaf in Alberta to supply us. The issue is we like to buy local, we like to support our local farmers, and we like to introduce our community that we want to buy locally because we are part of growing Manitoba. As as part of our operation, Iman Freshest Meat will ensure that it's operated and maintained in a food safe manner that facilitates the hygiene operation of the plant, the hygienic slaughter of food animals, and the hygienic processing, packaging, labeling, handling, and storing of carcasses, parts of carcasses, and meat products, and will allow inspectors to effectively perform their functions and duties. I also want to say that in part of our license that there will be a provincial inspector on the plant at every time that we do any processing. We are planning to have office space and inspection area will be included as a part of our project to ensure that health officers and inspectors are able to perform their duty. As part of our operation each day, the plant operates. Before the beginning of operation on that day, our employees will conduct a pre-operational inspection of the premises, equipment, and utensils of the plant to ensure that the plant complies with its sanitation program. As well, staff will ensure that the temperature of every refrigeration and freezing facility is recorded during the pre-operational inspection conducted each day, and the staff will keep the written records. we believe that we will demonstrate flexibility through our willingness to work with the provincial health officers, local RM staff, Manitoba Agricultural, Food and Safety in order to establish our slaughter plant processing in Manitoba. This is a private company that I own, and I am using my own capital and use current operation assets and my personal assets to, to create a very local, sustainable business. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
I just wanna add, in terms of order, we will be focusing on prevention on others, no barn or live animals storage on site, no cleaning of trailers and manure storage on site, no staging of live animal trailers on site, facility does not utilize steam or generate exhaust. The feathering process use only 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit warm water. That is tap temperature, rinsing and chilling with cold water. All organic waste to be stored inside facility until picked up for rendering facility. So basically, we want to say that there will be no organic waste will stay there overnight. Currently, we believe that having 10 acres is a little bit too much. The reason that we will be using basically 2% of the current land that we are planning to purchase. It's just the rest will be waste. So we want to be able that land to be developed in other use.
Perfect, thank you very much. I'm going to ask council now if they have any questions for the applicant at this time. Go ahead.
Hi there, thank you for your presentation. Councillor Belanger here. I have a couple of short questions. Do you know how much water you're going to be required to use in the production or in the, I don't know what other word to use for that. How much water do you anticipate using either per bird or on a daily basis? Do you have those numbers?
Yes, we will be using 3 liters for each bird. 3 times 30,000. Or 3.
So we're at 9,000 liters?
3 liters per bird.
3 liters per bird, okay. Thank you.
2,000 birds a week, so.
Yeah. My next question, you say that all disposable organic waste and blood and all that will be shipped off site and put in leak-proof containers before it's shipped off site. Can you just quickly explain how to, like when you're cleaning your facility and you're using water to clean your facility, do you capture all of that or does some of that go down the drain? Or is it all captured, like 100%, or how much are we talking?
Definitely all organic 100% will be carried out. At the same time, all the non-organic, we will have filtering in the in the drain, so that way no solid organic materials will go down the pipe. So we will have different stops, and this is also required through the province that we follow that process to make sure that no particles will go through the pipes, but whatever that is captured through the filtration plus all the organic waste will be carried out by a private rendering company.
Right. Does that include the blood though? Like you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So-
Yeah, yeah.
And you mentioned, last question, you mentioned that you'll be expanding your operation. What is your intention? More birds, other animals? That kind of thing.
Definitely, we just will be focusing on chicken because that is currently our main need. We do not intend to do any other species at all, ever.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay, anything else from council? Councilwoman?
Yeah, I think, we've tabulated most of the concerns for the residents, and you alluded to there, in your last comment, but when it comes to odor, I'm just picturing, again, having picked chickens for quite a few years, again, ammonia and then crap, whatever, obviously that's, you're not raising the chickens here, but when it comes to exhaust, is there within the provincial regulations anything that pertains to the exhausting the odors from inside the building? Are there buffers, or how does that all work?
Mainly, that will be dealt through the design of the building. We are working with, engineers because we believe that a well-designed ventilation system is required for operation like this. In terms of odor, we should maintain an adequate supply of fresh air for the animals, remove excess moisture during the cold weather, remove combustion gases from the heaters as well, and provide adequate temperature control during mild weather, and also limit the temperature rise during the hot water. The major carriers of odors are gases, as you know, from manure, which basically we don't have in this situation because we're not raising the animals, and this is not, I don't want to be confused as a, what do you call it, chicken barn or anything like that. So we believe a well-designed and managed ventilation system will control the levels of all factors in controlling odor from within the building. Yeah.
Okay, and I assume it's still the same process. Chicken comes in, they're dumped into hot water that creates steam, smells? Or how does that part of the production line work?
The production line
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be scalding, you mean, right? Or defeathering.
Right?
Yeah, it will go through the hot water for sure, and that's, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and chicken comes in, and by the time they're freezered, what's the timeline of beginning to end of chicken life or future life?
The equipment that we are planning to be is pretty much automated technology, and we plan to have 500 to 600 per hour per chicken, and we are gonna use 3,000 a week. So that just tells you that it is, and this is just assuming that we're gonna be operating once a day or twice, basically twice a week, in order to run the operation. The rest, it will be just carrying and working in it. So I would say within an hour, pretty much, the chicken from when it's unloaded, by the time it goes to the freezer, the first 500 will be within an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, another concern was when it's, the whole transportation, logistics of the operation, I guess one truck probably rolls in with the 3,000 chickens?
That is the plan at the beginning. And then another truck will be coming to take pretty much the 3,000 out. And that will be in terms of transportation. And there's going to be about 5 to 8 staff, their own vehicle will be using. And we will have a smaller van that will be going in and out as well. Because sometimes, we might have some frozen product that we need to take it out.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from council? No? Okay, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Just stay in line in case there's any follow-up questions when I do my second round. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor in person? Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak in favor? Anything received in favor?
Nothing received in favor.
Okay. Anyone in person wishing to speak against? You first, sir, come on. Just your name for record.
My name is Royce Rostacki. I'm from Speedway International. We are at 633 Patosh. We are directly across the street from where this is proposed. A couple issues I have. Not sure where to start here. Mr. Adam? Mr. Adam had mentioned 3 liters per chicken for water use. The actual number is 20 to 37 liters per chicken. And this is based on numerous studies, several which I have here, that show that number. And the issue that I have is not with the use of the water to do this. My issue is that is 20 to 37 liters per chicken going into the sewer system. This is going to include blood, fecal matter, possibly feathers, possible airborne pathogens. That is all going into our sewer system, all going into the lagoon, which from what I'm told, and I don't know if this is true, maybe someone could back me up on this, that the lagoon is already near capacity.
React capacity of this and
I don't believe so, no.
I don't think that lagoon is, I think the closest one to full capacity was still the Shane. Wrong in saying that?
Yeah, well, we're switching it over.
We switched over, Ilchin was the one with that capacity, or close to.
So, and based on the business plan, which I'm sure you've all seen, you have a plan on starting at 3,000 chickens per week, ramping up to 3,000 chickens per day. At 3,000 chickens per day, that's over 100,000 liters of water going into the sewer system, which is the same as what approximately 225 average households' daily sewer use would be. Could the lagoon handle that?
I'm trying to keep up too.
Those would have to be, I'm not a lagoon expert,
Okay,
but we have our public works manager who is.
okay.
But he's been on the distribution list as well, has not made any comments regarding capacity, regarding the proposal. Now, if the numbers vary, then we'll have to go back to him and check with the proper volumes going in.
Right, but if he's getting information that
Exactly what I said,
chicken is
based
going
on
to
the
the sewer.
proposal, no.
Okay,
But if you're telling us that the numbers are 20 to 37, then there's an obvious difference there that we would have to confirm capacity with him.
I think the statement is new, is the information that you found,
Yeah,
send it to us.
I have it here.
Yeah, leave it with us if you don't mind, we can make copies of the whole thing, and then our public works manager can review it as well as see what the capacity could be. Without question.
Some of my other concerns are probably similar concerns to, what other people that may be against this. Property values, you look at any jurisdiction or any community where a slaughterhouse has gone into, it has had horrific effects on property values. So this would be both for businesses within the industrial park as well as, residential, across the highway, which are definitely within, they will smell this facility. I know they're saying that they're gonna be keeping all the carcasses and whatnot inside, but at 3,000 chickens even per week, there's not enough room in that 4,000 square foot building to house all of that. So I'm not sure what the, plan B is there, but I'm guessing that would be outside, which, brings me to concerns about airborne pathogens, pests, rats, flies, debris. I really think on a project like this, an environmental impact study needs to be done, which it hasn't. I think that about covers everything that I wanted to say. I did have a concern, over where they're locating the building on the property, which is way off in one corner. The concern is, if they're given this conditional use permit for this initial 4,000 square foot building, any expansion as far as, hey, we're gonna go to, 20,000 chickens per day, can't be, objected to. There's no way to stop any future growth once this is put in place. So, which brings me back to, yes, like a thorough environmental impact study really needs to be done on this. I guess I hope that's something that the council takes into consideration. From what I'm hearing, there's a lot of opposition to this, and these are the people that you guys are representing. I hope you look out for their best interests, and not just the best interests of one new business that wants to come in, but look at the best interests of the businesses that have, been there, and of course, more importantly, the residents of the town that would object to this, because this is gonna affect them too. Anything saying that the slaughterhouse is not gonna have any odors, or other, environmental repercussions, that's not the case, so.
Okay, council, do you have any questions? No? Go ahead, Mr. Seal.
Just a clarification, you mentioned that there were, property values decreased in certain communities. Do you have an idea as to what communities?
Every community
Which
has ever had it. For example, St. Boniface. You look at St. Boniface, you look, for example, where Canada Packers in Swiftwoods, they tore that down years ago. Ron Ledowski from Canada Inns bought that, I believe it's 110 acres. You can't give that property away. He's been trying to give it away. So you look at all the property values in that whole area, which.
Where's this free land? Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Sorry, is this council's time to discuss, not the engagement of the?
Canada Packers site.
Okay, I think what Mr. Seal is alluding to is we need evidence, we need
I
action.
have several
Send it our way.
about the negative.
Send it our way then. If you don't have it here, it's not time to discuss it, because it's just speculation until we have actual.
I do have it here.
Okay, so just to give it to Seal, and then we can keep it on file.
Okay.
Okay, anything else from council?
Just to discuss, that point, New Bothwell has 180,000 square foot Granny's plant in it right now.
Right?
Their property value is not going down.
How close is that facility to neighboring businesses and residential?
Right next door to neighboring businesses. It's 250 meters to the nearest house and 500 to the nearest biggest development.
And is this a slaughterhouse? Are they doing actual slaughtering there, or is this just processing?
That's a chicken plant.
There's no question period right now, this is one-on-one, okay?
Okay.
Not you, I'm talking to someone, sorry.
Behind you.
Yeah, behind you.
Well, I'm not familiar with that operation, so I'll just have to say, okay, that's a possibility.
No, we appreciate, any comment here, we appreciate, don't get me wrong, but we need evidence for council to make informed decisions, not speculations and assumptions. So that's why Councilor Pelletier got involved there, and that's why you asked those questions. So don't take offense to anything that council asks, it's because we want to make the right decision, and we want to make an informed decision. Anything else from council? No? Okay, thank you, I appreciate it, thanks. Anyone else wishing to speak? I believe, yes, go ahead.
Mr. Adams has
Oh.
a hand raised, I'm not sure.
I'm gonna get,
Okay.
yeah, so just so the applicant knows, we're gonna do all around here, and then he can come back and answer any questions that were missed or have been asked. You can come up, sorry.
My name is Olivia Nelson, and I live in St. Agatha. I reside there with my husband and my 2 children. We've been there for 9 years. I had found out about this proposal, and I brought it to the attention of the community via the Facebook group. We have a St. Agatha Alerts and Events page. Since Friday, it has garnered over 100 oppositions on that Facebook page, which have been submitted this morning with screenshots of everybody's name, so it's not anonymous or private. These are people who live within the community, who, you know, some of them are here today, and some of them were unable to attend. Some of them have sent letters. It is a resounding no from the community. Over 100 people with, it's roughly 23% of our population that is saying no to this, and those are not accounting all people who are unaware or do not know about it as well. So I oppose this, as you can tell. I believe that the environmental impact is going to be huge, as Royce had mentioned, with regards to the water use. It's more of the issue of it getting into the sewer system and getting into the lagoon, leaching into our waterways. Concerned about the health and well-being of the community with regards to that, concerned about the air quality for, you know, people living in the community, the children. The summer times are so short, we get outside, everybody enjoys the country living where we are. It would be, you know, I understand what the gentleman is saying with regards to that, but I find sometimes in these situations, there may be empty promises, and I'm just not confident, especially with the intention to expand, that, you know, this is gonna just stay at, you know, 3,000 birds daily. The plot of land, is quite large. With the facility situated off in the corner, I'm nervous about, expansion and whether or not there would be a need to, apply for another conditional use if they wanted to move into other animals like pigs or cattle.
Again, this is just for council, please.
I know that the funding from this project would go back into the community. And I know that there's some large projects that are on the horizon with regards to the arena and the Cartier Park or Cheyenne Park. I just don't want this to be a short-sighted decision with regards to this. I think that a lot of the community members are rallying together to be in opposition of this, and when it comes to keeping the people within the community, keeping us, you know, happy and enjoying the quality of life, I just see such a resounding opposition to this. You know, we talked about the traffic, the trucks coming in and out. Yes, 3,000 birds, if that's weekly, that's 1 truck a week, but, you know, then we're talking about more than 1 truck a week, we're talking about 1 truck a day in and out of there. There's other points, I forgot to pull up my notes here. Yeah, here we go, it's right here. Yes, I'm also concerned about the water use. I feel like the 3 liters per bird is an inaccurate representation. I've done research on it, and it's actually between 3.5 to 10 gallons per bird. So unless they're doing some sort of processing that, you know, I am unaware of or didn't stumble upon my research, I've left a link of that, research paper in my letter of opposition, but, I did the math, and it's roughly 4,000 liters to 115,000 liters daily, which is equivalent to one person's use per year. I did have a typo. A lot of people sent in, kind of copy paste of this letter, and it said one household per year, but when I redid the math, it was one person's use per year. So, people use roughly 92,000 liters of water a year, and if it's, these 3.5 to 10 gallons per bird, then that would be the same, water using daily as one person uses per year. Worried about the expansion, as I already mentioned, and the real estate market values. I have a article from a Toronto downtown slaughterhouse from City News article, and it talks about how the rent in that area is lower, how the smell is something that people have to get used to, and that it has negative effects within the community, and basically I can send a link to that as well. So I just urge you guys to disapprove the facility. It's not what the community wants. It's a resounding no from the community members. As you can see, nobody came here to speak on favor. I believe almost everybody in this room is in opposition, and if you guys are in opposition, and even though maybe we touched on all the same points, it would be great if everybody could just, who's in opposition, come and say that you oppose, and that's pretty much my piece.
I appreciate that, thank you. Council, do you have any comments or questions?
I have a comment, and this, I think I've read it in a couple of the letters about, and this isn't just for this project, it's come up a few other times. At least this is my point of view, it's about the money that the perception that the public feels that government, meaning us, we just want to bring any business in because we want the money. And that can be farther from the truth, in my point of view. And I pretty much think that's how we all feel. It's never about the money for us. We don't look at a business coming in and saying, oh, this is going to be great, we can do this, or we're going to, So I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you, Councilor Bourget. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm getting a little more strict on when people come up here. So again, we're still going in opposition, but we've discussed some major points. As soon as I hear you discuss that point, I'll stop you, bring up a new point. I need the new point. I've heard everything. If you don't have any new points, all you have to do is come up, say your name, and just say you're in opposition for the reasons discussed before. We still want to hear your voice. We just don't want to keep hearing repetition, okay? So is there anyone else wishing to speak in objection? Come on.
So my name is Patrick Lairty. I'm a resident of Saint-Agathe. So I've lived in Saint-Agathe in the South Development for almost 7 years now. So I've gotten used to how much wind we get. And the vast majority of the time, the wind comes from the northwest direction, kind of give or take. So that puts the industrial park where the facility is proposed directly upwind of my and many other people's homes. Since that's the case, I guess I'd also implore the council to be very intentional when it comes to what types of facility allows to be built there. I'm sure that I share the opinion of many of the other residents when I say that generally I'd advise against slaughterhouses, but also other types of industries that could involve the putrid stench or hazardous pollutants, as that's been mentioned before, I guess. With respect to this specific proposal, so in the presentation, the applicant has mostly reiterated the content of the letter of intent without any substantive additions. So unless I'm missing something, I'm not seeing any legally binding guarantees from the applicant for the proposed, or for the supposed perfect containment of smell and waste that they're saying. Based on the letter of intent and the documents that were attached to it, there aren't any actual procedures or anything of the sort for waste handling. No ventilation, filtration, or odor containment specifications or engineered drawings. Some of this being requirements of the government document titled Manitoba Standards for Provincial Plants Engaged in Slaughter and Primary Processing of Meat Animals, most recent version dated February 2019. So they also haven't demonstrated any previous experience or capabilities in managing these things. So forgive me if I'm not exactly convinced about the statements in their letter of intent or in the presentation. On top of that, in a case like this, where the facility or facilities, I guess, plan directly upwind and so close to the community, I wouldn't expect just the bare minimum. I might expect very rigorous procedures and an incredibly high standard to be met, which the applicant has failed to demonstrate. So at the end of the day, if this proposal were to be allowed and contaminant, smell, and waste not managed to perfection like they propose that they do, I'd be very concerned about the air quality and also, yes, my own property value. So personally, I don't think we should be taking any chance on that, so therefore I oppose this proposal, and I guess any future proposal in the similar nature for that specific industrial property. Thanks.
Council, do you have any comments or questions?
Mr. Legacy?
Yep.
I appreciate that you didn't copy paste from like everybody else. Very detailed info there. Which road are we gonna go down here? So, I brought up Granny's before. It's just about 100 times the size of this plant. It doesn't generate any odors. We've reached out to, the town of Toulon with, they do goose there. That plant is right in town. And talking with their public works manager and their staff, whose building is 2 blocks away, they don't smell anything there. When it was first put up quite a few years ago, there were some concerns with, things were a little looser on how you haul your waste away. You know, spillage of the trucks, things like that. That doesn't happen anymore. And this is a goose facility, which is quite a bit messier than a chicken facility. The fact that they don't go into full detail on their ventilation system, they can't spend $100,000 on engineering drawings on a building that might not happen. Just to put it in perspective on like how the usual plan works. The province is a lot tighter on slaughterhouses, or abattoirs as we have to refer to them here. And I just wanted to throw that out there. But I do appreciate you taking the time and writing your own letter. That's awesome.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Even if it's just you're opposed, I want to hear it, don't get me wrong. Yeah, come on.
Hi, I'm Darren Husney, I work next door to the proposed plant, worked around enough chicken places, actually worked at Granny's at one time. Was just property shopping and the prices are way cheaper in New Bothwell, but that's about all I got. Thanks.
Thank you.
You guys anything to ask me? No, I don't think so.
Anyone else? Come on.
My name is Shannon Scher. I'm a co-owner with my husband of Upper Deck Transport in St. Agatha Industrial Park. We are opposed, and we believe that this would be detrimental to the park and also to the residents of St. Agatha.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Anyone else? Come on. What's your name?
Adele Gauthier. I live in the community of St. Agatha. My husband and I are opposed to this decision. I'm understanding the perspectives of other communities that may have similar facilities, but this is the voice of the community that this will affect in this room this evening, and I strongly consider you to take these words seriously.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Anyone else? Come on.
Hi, my name is Joan. I live in St. Agatha. I've lived there with my family for 3 years now. I live with my son who lives with autism, and so living with autism, he has heightened senses, and so his sense of smell is very heightened. We moved from Winnipeg because during COVID, he was very nervous about COVID and worried about it where it caused him a lot of anxiety. And so we opted to move to St. Agatha Quieter Community, a little safer community, and we love it there. And he, after 3 years, has come to enjoy it and like living there. He because there's no real place for people with exceptional needs in this world, he is very limited in what he can do and where he can go. And he is on the severe end of the spectrum. And so he, for his health, he says it, he goes for walks, long walks, and that's what he does in St. Agatha, and he feels safe there. He feels secure and happy. And he doesn't always feel that way. And so as a mom, this is really scary for me, that this plant may come in and say that there is not going to be a smell. But if there is, we can't stay there. I can't live there because out of respect for my son. So I implore you to really do your due diligence in looking at every avenue and if there is a smell, it really is going to affect people, and people on the spectrum with their heightened senses. They can't live there. He just couldn't. So we would have to move. And that's another move for us. And it sounds extreme and it sounds like, oh my gosh, but that is life with autism. Life with autism is that. And so out of respect for him, like, we would have to move. So I just want to speak for the people who can't speak for themselves.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition in person? Yeah, come on up.
Dustin Lagasse, resident of St. Agatha. I'm in opposition of this for the same reasons everyone else has mentioned. I don't really have anything new to add. I'm all for the sale of the property, just find a new buyer.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in person?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, John Betancourt. I've been living there for the last 14 years in St. Agatha, and I oppose, and I agree with everybody who opposed before me.
Perfect. Thank you. Anyone else in person? Come on up.
My name is Shana Lagasse. I am the one that sent you a 4-page letter with a lot of references. I am an environmentalist and a former Bertrand employee. And I oppose, obviously. Basically, on top of everything that's already been mentioned, they would still be using our water. They would still be using huge amounts of water. We are in a global water crisis, even though nobody wants to admit that, even though we have a water source here, letting an industry come in and use up so much of our water when it's estimated that in the next 5 years, globally, there's going to be a lot of water shortage. Climate change is rampant, and obviously, we're noticing the weather, and we're also in a flood zone, so any type of pollution that might leach from there goes into the farmers' fields that are nearby. So even though they're currently saying that everything's going to be contained, there's no guarantee of that. Once they're there and something happens, we can't say anything. They're already settled there, and that just is what it is. There's no environmental assessment that's been made, which has been mentioned. Which usually you would think, like, any type of industry like that should have those environmental papers to show us that everything's going to be safe and contained. Also, in terms of, like, when you're choosing which businesses are allowed in our community, you should think of, like, what will benefit our community. If they're using a bunch of our resources and that's it, then what's the benefit to us? And on top of using our water, they're also going to be using our landfill potentially. Our landfill also is a limited resource. We only have so much space. Once that's filled up from all our chicken carcasses, then we're the ones that have to pay on our taxes. All of a sudden, we have to make our landfill bigger because there's not enough room because of all this waste. And they're saying they're going to have a company come and pick it up, but what's not to say, let's say their pickup company is on holidays, their pickup company is late because of weather, they have too many chicken carcasses, what are they going to do? They might incinerate it, like they'll have to do something with it. I have asthma, a lot of people have asthma. I don't want to be smelling burnt chicken carcasses when I'm at home. My mother also has severe allergies to smoke, and this is right by town, again with the wind, it's just going to blow right into town. What and there's something else, hang on. I know a lot of points that I said were already mentioned, so I'm just trying to be mindful of my time here. Yeah, basically, to me, this will just be like a net economic loss by allowing this industry to come in and use up our resources. There's also Cascade Park, which is like across the street from them. So if there would be any smell, obviously that would affect them. I know you said apparently Granny's doesn't have any smell, but I mean, Granny's is a huge corporation. Maybe they're more mindful, they've been around a long time, that if they would have issues, that the name would get out there. Because they're well-known, maybe they're more careful. We don't know with them, this is a newer company, we've never heard of them. We don't know if they'll be as diligent as maybe a huge company like Granny's. And again, would you want Granny's next door to you? Maybe not. So even though, you know, they say that, most of you, with all due respect, don't live in St. Agatha, but you just have to think, if you did live there, would you want this there? Because clearly our town does not. Based on everybody that's here and all the letters that you received. Mitch, I know you summarized people's letters that were sent in, so if I missed anything from my letter, maybe you'll mention it later, but yeah, that's about it for now.
Appreciate it. One big comment, I wasn't sure you said it or not, carcasses aren't coming to Ridgetop landfill. No, they're not, just so we know that.
In their letter of intent, it did mention that as like a backup, or like it's not clear, it's like, oh, well, we plan on using this company, but like also we have, like, technically our landfill is certified.
Very clear to us, we don't take animal waste, ever.
Apparently it's certified for animal waste
That's
according to the letter.
That's Brady
That's
Lane.
not ours.
I see,
So
yeah, gotcha.
The initial plan would be Darlington, which used to be the old Rockaway in St. Boniface. They could take it there to get rendered, or they can drop it off at Brady.
But it doesn't come to
It
Ridgetop.
doesn't come to Ridgetop,
Okay, gotcha.
ever.
Just so you know, yeah, just so you know.
Ever, okay, cool.
Okay, anything from council, any questions? I appreciate the work you put into that, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've been waiting 400 minutes, man.
I'm trying to be, so, everybody else can't see me, I'm in the back. All right.
Just your name, please.
Jeremy Matushak, I obviously live in St. Agatha. A lot of the points that I wanted to touch on have already been touched. Councilor Lemoyne with the, issues of the smells, Royce back there with the live water, or all generously assume that, the applicant conflated gallons and liters, right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? That's still a concern to me, because 2 years ago, I was getting texts saying I can't water my lawn because the lagoons got too much capacity, right? Mr. Felche, you have, made this argument about Granny's over and over again. As the young lady stated, Granny's is a massive company. This applicant, by his own admission, is doing this by private wealth, so I do have some concerns regarding that. What is his capacity to handle any kind of adverse incident or emergency that may come up as a result of that? If something breaks down, he goes bankrupt, et cetera, what do we do with the cleanup of that, right? And these are things that I think need to be considered. Sorry, Ms. Boulanger, you made the point that, you guys look at the big picture, right? But at the end of the day, you are choosing which town to sacrifice, right? I have friends that have been in New Bothwell, and as you like to point out, they have that factory there, and they've moved away because of the smell. We all understand, living in the country, that some mornings we're going to get smells, right? On a damp day with a lot of wind, we all get the smell from the pork plants, right? Or the pork operations. So now you're putting something across town from us that's going to linger. I think that's a little unacceptable. And that's really all I have to say.
I appreciate it. Any questions from council? No?
Just a clarification, I was brought up from the audience earlier there is, and again, not on my watch, but there's no hog in the halal culture or whatever, so that's.
No, I'm just talking like near Nicholasville, right? You still get that smell, right?
Yeah, no, I
And I use that as an illustrator of the byproduct of pollution as well.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you again.
And I just wanted to clarify, maybe you misunderstood my point. I wasn't saying, all I was saying is that we don't see a business come and we go, okay, another business, let's just take them because we want the money. We do consider everything. It's never been about We just want to know.
And I understand, believe me, I understand the point, but at the end of the day, you're still picking a town to put this in, right?
No, we're picking a business to put in our town.
Whatever way you'd like to phrase it, okay?
No, we understand.
Yeah.
You can pick it to put in Nilishane, you can pick it to put in St. Adolph, but unfortunately, it's being picked to be put in my town, so that's fine here.
So, I appreciate that. Anyone else in opposition? In person? Okay, we'll move online. Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak against bringing up new items or just saying they are opposed with the previous comments made? I see April. April, go ahead.
Hi, I'm April Lucy. I live in St. Agatha, and I just want to put my vote in or opposition in for the reasons already.
Perfect, Kate. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else online or on the phone? I see another hand up, I think. It's a number. Go ahead. There's a couple, I think I see. Or one's the applicant.
Phone number, I don't know.
There's someone with just a phone number, no name. I'd ask you to just please speak now with your hand up. Okay, we'll disregard that one. Anyone else on the phone? Okay, this time I'm gonna bring it back to the applicant to answer any questions that were missed. I wrote down most of them, but if he has anything to add, go ahead, Mr. Applicant.
I believe I left a very crucial point, which is that our facility will be using air-chilled type in terms of how we came up with that number of water to use. We're not going to be using any water-chilled techniques or use, so all our facility will be using air-chilled. And we believe that by investing the latest technology of air-chilled, we can reduce the consumption of water. That's one of the main goal that we are planning to. The other thing that I want to also, let everybody know that in order for us to receive the licensing, we have to apply the province of Manitoba environmental license for class 2 facility. And our letter of intent was submitted. On top of that, we have to be also complying poultry establishment construction and equipment through Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And we have to follow the guideline and for the design and construction of a food processing establishment. On top of that, we have to gain the provincial abattoir license. And I can tell you that through this process, we will be following the health, the Food Inspection Agency standard. And we believe that with the equipment that we will be purchasing and using, our facility will not only meet, but will exceed all the requirements for environmental and food processing regulations.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's covered some of them. Council, do you have any follow-up questions pertaining to what the public asked? My only one that I have, everything else seems to be touched on, except for the ones that didn't have any findings behind them. No previous experience. Do you have any experience or any consultants on your side, as they say?
We have been running for the last 4 years a meat distribution in Winnipeg, halal meat distribution, and we have been working with our partner every day. Every week. Tuesday morning, we are in Bandman Meat Slaughtering House. My staff are there. We'll do our own, slaughtering for lamb, for beef, and for goats. So we definitely have a tremendous experience in meat distribution. We are licensed to distribute, and we are inspected on a daily basis in terms of if we are meeting our own current facility distribution. So we are well aware of the requirement, and our staff are well trained to do that.
Okay. Council, any comments, questions?
The only question I had was in your strategic goals, you talked about attracting additional producers to use our slaughter, custom cuts, and wrap services. Can you go into that a little bit? Like, what is that kind of goal that you want? Are you talking about other users coming and using your facility, or what is the goal of that?
In the beginning, as part of our strategic plan, we knew that in Manitoba, our local farmers often do not have the abattoir available to them to use their own cane. And this was actually the advice of the food inspection agencies and the inspectors that we work in order to reduce food poisoning and to improve the quality of meat. If we will have an opportunity to allow others to bring their own kill with inspected facility where the inspector will be there. So that way birds will be inspected, the facility meets the regulations. So that is a very, very long term. At the beginning, as I said, we intend to start our own chicken and meet that.
Yeah, sorry. Nothing else from council? No? Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm gonna open up for one final round of any comments. General questions, speaking in favor, opposition.
I'll just chime in really quick, sure, you want me to?
Yeah, come on.
I introduced myself before, too early. Tyler Mitchell, I've been representing Muxy for the last couple of years. We kind of, came to know each other, and I promise you, he is one of the best humans I've ever met. His story, coming to Canada, is incredible. And what this man has turned into, what would have been a traumatic experience coming to Canada, for many, I think he has really taken it to the next level as far as his growth. And so now, instead of purchasing slaughtered meat from somebody else, he's deciding that we're gonna take a leap of faith here and build in a community that hopefully wants us in their industrial park, right? That's kind of what he's thinking. So the goal is that he can cut out the middleman and then be able to slaughter his own chicken and then distribute it, right? So this is a man who is trying to grow his business, a Canadian who is here. He's trying to do right by everybody, and I promise you that he's a good guy. You want him in your community.
Where do you live?
I live in Sage Creek, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, so we get Maple Leaf scent there too. Yeah, so we get smell from the hog plant. They actually build $1 million houses within the proximity of Maple Leaf, so.
Oh, you're vouching for that.
Okay, we'll just focus.
I'm just saying.
We'll just focus in on an area. I'll just ask to speak to council
Yep.
only. Please, no peanut gallery. I don't tolerate that at all, so just none of that.
Yeah, so that was it. I just wanted to let you know the kind of, test of the character that he is. Fantastic guy, and, I hope we make the right decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
I just have another comment.
yeah, come on up.
How many letters did you guys reveal how many letters you received in
Yeah.
opposition?
57.
And I just want to make a point where and even in his own talk, he just said that, their main goal is for air chill. So like, somebody also said there's no legal binding contract to say that they have to do it this way. They can kind of say what they want in order to get in, and then maybe say, oh, we don't have the funding to do it that way, we're gonna do it the other way. So that's just what I want.
No, I appreciate it. Okay. Anyone, final point? Yeah, come on up.
I guess a concern that I here was, okay, so how many chickens come in at a time?
I think they said 3,000.
So 3,000 at a time. So if they're doing 3,000 a week, these chickens just stay in this trailer?
And I can answer that question.
He has answered it already, like, they killed it in the hour.
So 500 at a time.
500 an hour.
Okay.
500 an hour, yeah.
500 an hour?
Yeah, you could do up to 500 an hour, but they would be done within one, whatever, extraction time, which would be, I guess, 4 hours. 6 hours, thank you.
That's an awful lot of chickens in a short period of time. Well, it's not automated, like, are you familiar with the procedure?
You guys, please, I'm asking you, please, focus on council only, stop asking questions in the peanut gallery, focus on me. Your direction is to look at me as the chair, and that's it, okay? I don't get frustrated often, but when I do, I'm gonna start asking people to leave, okay? Thank you. Go ahead, Royce.
I'm all for growth in the park. I love the park. I get along with my neighbors. It's a great place to be. Very happy to be there. I empathize with the CDI that wants to sell this property, and I understand that the RM would like to attract business, tax revenue. I understand. But I think this would hamper and stymie potential growth, because no one wants to be beside a slaughterhouse. So, yeah, you might be selling 5 acres of property right now, and you might be getting $8,000 or $9,000 a year in tax revenue because of this. But I think for how many people would be repelled from developing that community would be just horrendous. Like, there's no pluses to this. Like, even there's been nothing that's been said about this that says, hey, this is good for the RM or this is good for the town. Like, nothing. And if someone could say, hey, this is good because of this point, that would be awesome. But so far, no one said that there's any benefit here. Someone can't say, like, wait, this is good.
You guys are, just so you know, so the way council works is we listen. We're not here to give you what our thoughts and feelings and prayers are right now. Once I close the meeting, that's our time to debate. So I'm not giving you an answer, Royce. I know you're looking for one, I'm not giving you one.
Well, anyone, not just you, but anyone to say,
That's not our job right now, okay? You're looking for something that I can't give you, okay? So do you have any other questions or points you want to make?
I think I covered about everything.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Come on up, sir.
I'll remain standing, this will be brief. I represent Hemp Oil Canada. We do have a manufacturing business, a food manufacturing business right in the park. And I just wanted acknowledgement that the letter that was written was sent to council, and it's going to be, and it covers much of the topics that we already discussed, so I'll leave that in your hands.
Perfect, thanks, sir, I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to anything received against, which I know we have a compilation.
Yes.
Mr. CEO will go through point form on what was.
I'm not gonna read everyone.
No, you're not reading everyone, you're reading the point form notes on what was brought into us.
All right, so basically, just to summarize the 57 letters, and I'll just talk to the point and not how many referred to the points and all this stuff, but all the possibilities of the objections. So, in the 57 letters, they refer to the stench, smell, odors, air pollution, greenhouse gases. Talk about the environmental risk and the effects of that. Talk about the drinking water, wastewater, water quality, demand of the water, microbes, disease, etc. Discussions of the effect on Cheyenne Park, Cartier Park. Discussions on the additional traffic and the hazardous intersection that currently exists at 75 and 305. Talk about the stench and odors from other sources, such as the pig barns and other facilities in the Niverville area. Didn't want to say the town, but I did it anyway. Talk about the real estate values and property values. Discussions on the short summers, the windows being open, being able to enjoy the backyard entertaining, the quality of life, lifestyles. Noise pollution, engine retardants tied with the additional traffic. Negative impact for the town to build somewhere else. There's better alternatives, not an optimal workplace, no direct benefits. Health concerns, flood zones. No reason, just objecting. Going back to our logo of Country Skies, the reach out branding, the promotion of the community. Empty word proposal, no legal guarantees included. Psychological risks and effect of the people working there. New business being skeptical of the industry. Missing information for Manitoba standards. Proximity to the school, pest management, possible expansions and possible protests. That would be it.
Okay, thanks. I think I see a handout that I might have missed. Oh, no, online. Is this still there? Okay.
Also, for council's information, for the public information, did get the Facebook screenshot of Leah.
Yeah.
Just for council's information, it's not a valid petition. Provincial Act currently doesn't allow for new technology. It's written back in 1996, but it does give council an idea of the objections received.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing at 8:41 p.m. and then we will go to move 6.1.5 C13 2023 in Mon Fresh's Meat 570 and 618 Betash Way. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Boulanger, thank you.
Therefore be resolved that conditional use application C13 2023 to allow an abattoir meat processing packaging facility consisting of halal chicken processing facility is approved, subject to the following conditions. One, the applicant shall ensure that this use is not noxious, offensive, or hazardous by reason of emission or production of odor, dust, refuse matter, waste, vapor, gas, smoke, vibration, or noise that is use shall create beyond the property sideline. Two, that the abattoir portion of the building shall be used only for poultry processing. Any addition to or change shall require a new conditional use application. Three, that no live animals is to be housed or kept on site other than those that is to be used for immediate processing. Four, that the applicant shall obtain required provincial and environmental permits prior to construction. Five, that the applicant shall obtain appropriate building permits for any proposed construction from the municipal office of reach out. Six, that the applicant shall not cause the generation of undue traffic and congestion in the neighborhood. Seven, that the outdoor lighting must be located, arranged, and shielded so that no light is directed at any neighboring property or roadway. Eight, that any signage is to comply with the municipal zoning bylaw. Nine, all storage of related materials and equipment must be indoors unless fenced or screened to the satisfaction of the municipality. 10, all operations of this facility shall be entirely within the closed building or buildings. And the 11, the applicant shall sign a confirmation letter accepting the terms. There may be site audits and non-compliance issues may be caused to revoke the conditional use at any time.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this point, I'll open up for council debate discussion. Council, who would like to start?
I've got a question for Mr. CAO, actually. All storage of related materials and equipment must be indoors unless fenced and or screened to the satisfaction of the facility. And that says all operations of the facility. So wouldn't the storage of waste be part of the operations the way he has in his business plan? So couldn't you just get rid of the all storage related materials must be indoors unless fenced and just have it as everything must be indoors?
That would be an amendment to the proposal. Just if council is willing to stroke that off.
You do a friendly amendment or just leave it because it's really like, don't want to negate the fact that you brought up a good point, but it's already in there.
No, I know, it's the contradiction to a point almost, so I decided
Does council want a friendly amendment to change it, or do you want to leave it as is because it's already in there? I'll ask before I ask.
So is the question to remove the any outdoor storage?
Basically, yeah, so it'd be, all operations are indoors. So I think one of the main concerns we're hearing from everyone is about things outside, possible odors, well, everything will be indoors.
Council, would you like to see proposal for amendments on there?
Sure.
Sure, okay. Friendly amendment, Mr. Stewart, should we do an actual?
Yes, basically removing the fenced and screened
Okay, so that's what we'll do.
portion, so everything's indoors.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that.
No, I think council, everyone's shaking their head yes. Okay, council's good with that. Anything else from council, discussion, concerns?
Well, sure, I'll go. Since being on council, we've always listened to the people. That's why I'm here. We've had many discussions in the past, where the residents are opposed, whether we've agreed with it or not. That's why I'm here, is listening to residents. We've also had residents opposed where there's only been about 2 residents with strong opinions, but we look out for the entire community, and I see the entire community here. I hear them, in the 7 years we've been here, or how many years we've been here, I haven't seen this strong of an opinion and opposition, and I can't ignore that. Whether the guy says this is gonna be I don't dispute that the guy is probably a great guy, and he's worked hard to get where he is, and he's gonna do everything in his power to make this operation, but what if? It's that what if that really bothers me right now. What if something happens? Do we have the means to go there with our inspections, are we gonna be able to shut production down, and will it be too late at that point to shut production down? I've seen processes take a long time in this business, and I fear that it's gonna be a big frustration for not only us, but the community, and it could divide the community.
Thank you, Councilor Boulanger. Anything else from council?
I'd just like to take the opportunity, I thank my constituents. I think we come usually in great numbers there on all the initiatives that we undertake. I'm not much of a social media guy, but, when stuff is put out there, it's lived exactly how uninformed, assumptions could be brought forward. So, the RM office is always open for any concerns, phone calls, so as any one of us around the table. And also, it's a little hurtful, some of the things that were said, and also maybe an invitation to our, next AGM or whatnot, considering the roles and responsibility of the CDI, the volunteers that are at that table, and all of the volunteers within our community. They do good. They do wise decisions. They reinvest in our community. There's a lot of structures, whether recs or, arenas or daycares or whatnot, and those are all thanks to some of the initiatives that have been put forward from our volunteers that, sit at the CDI, and also initiatives taken on from our municipality. So just a comment.
Okay. Any discussion pertaining to the abattoir, concerns? Findings, nothing?
I'm kind of like, I hear what you mean saying. Here comes Boulanger saying, sorry. And I guess what the safety plan is, I guess that's what my biggest concern would be, is that if there is an incident, what is the process? And I don't know if that's something that comes up in, his licensing and stuff like that. Like, I'm not sure, because I've never had to get a laboratory license. So I don't know what the backup plan is, what the safety plan is. Like, as far as facility, I've driven past arbitors. You probably wouldn't know it was one unless you saw a big flashing sign outside some of them. You really don't. So I'm not worried about that aspect of it. The odor, I'm not as worried about personally. Chicken, and yeah, it's not like a goose abattoir, a pig rendering plant, it's nothing like that, but the water thing is just, that's something I'm very unsure about. We're hearing numbers from one resident or residents about the numbers. He's saying 3 liters because the air chilled, but he said like that's what he wants to do. So I don't know if that like exactly what it is, it's gonna be 3 liters and air chills or not, that's where I'm just gonna.
Is it something we put in the resolution where it's to be air chilled or?
Yeah, council could do
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
whatever you want. That would not be a friendly amendment, so I would
No,
give
I
it a
agree.
seconder.
Is that something you'd like to see a guarantee of that?
I think at least it'll alleviate a lot of that water usage issues, I think, as if it was, I guess, let's do the air chill thing. I mean, he's already talking about having the latest technology and such,
And we'll
so.
move to that amendment as, what's it called, air chill? Proposal,
Air chill process.
air chill process, do I have a mover for that? Councilor Pelletier, second. Councilor Levine, okay, now we've discussed that, are we all okay, do we have any questions about air chill process, adding it to the resolution? Okay, I'll call for the question, all those in favor to add that? That's carried, thank you. Opposed, I think was unanimous, carried, yeah. Okay, now, going back to the resolution as a whole. Go ahead, move second, to get back in? No. Okay, thank you. Anything else from council? Councilor Bodarchuk, anything else that was satisfied, okay?
Just on, location, this is really our only industrial park in the RM. It is the only place that fits, and I know that, the residents don't like that statement, but it's the only one that fits. Some of the concerns this isn't Maple Leaf, and this isn't Rothsay, this isn't the corner of Marion and Lagimodier. It's a different plant altogether. The provincial regulations right now are way different for this kind of facility. So there's a lot of, angst with this going forward. A lot of it is based on commuter traffic through St. B, and smelling the awesomeness between those two and Loveday. It's not a pleasant place to hang up. I just don't feel that this would generate the same thing.
Appreciate that input. Anything else from council?
What was the concern about traffic?
Because there's the cartage, how much or tonnage would be on the road all the time, how many vehicles would be going through?
Because he's talking 5 employees and 1 semi a day?
Back and forth.
It's like 5 times the traffic.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, that was the issue.
I thought, yeah, because I thought it brought up, so I just wanted to see.
That's why I asked the question, again, it's, you know, we have suicide corner there at the 305 and 75, we don't need another 55 trucks a day or whatever, you know, Super B's driving up there, so it seems it's just one smaller truck and I deliver it out, so that's why I asked the question.
Okay, anything else from council? Okay, I'll call for the question, all those in favor? Opposed? That's carried, thank you very much. Moving on to item 6.2.2. VA 2023, I'm in freshest meat, but I've said no. We'll wait. No, it's not new. Yeah, it's not new, it's just when they call in, you can leave your name or just press start.
I have a question, do we have to speak about the variance, or are we
No, it was part of the public hearing.
Combined.
Yeah, we combined the two
Oh, so you
together.
guys are going over that right now, like, that was already?
The next
Vote is the variance,
is for the
but we did the
variance.
public hearing, I put the two together,
I
yeah,
didn't realize that.
yeah.
So we can't talk about the acres part.
That never came up.
They never do come
They never brought that up.
I don't think anybody else.
Ask the question.
Sure, call.
If you have a comment, I'll open the public hearing for you. Okay, one please, leave all of them.
See, training me very well.
Okay, I'm gonna reopen the public hearing here for, item 6.1.5 and 6.2.2. At 8:55 PM, we have one speaker in according to the variance, sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shannon Agape. So already you guys disappointed the community with that, and why would you allow them to have a variance of literally, like, having the amount of acreage that they need, which is like, that's our bylaw, right? That is what they're trying to do, right? Get 5-something acres instead of 10 for that facility. And like, already we feel out of, like, not able to control what they're doing. Once they're there, they're there. We don't have any say of if they expand and things like that. But if you at least don't let them get, like, to do it on 5 acres instead of 10, I think that will be appreciated, considering that already nobody wanted this from the town. And it, like, in terms of like environmental, like, not only is that somewhere that we don't want, but on top of that, they want to do it on less land, which is like way more land intensive, and that should just not be allowed, like, especially if they want to, have like, expand to like so many more chickens, and like, that's not gonna fit in their facility. On top of that, it's supposed to be on a way bigger piece of acreage, unless I'm mistaken, but is that kind of what they're asking for?
The, okay, so basically the variation is, for this type of use, the minimum acres is 10.
Right.
And what they are proposing, I guess, is buying these 2 lots would give you the equivalent of 5.4 acres. So that is what they want to do, is be able to buy those 5.4 acres and proceed with the operation, even though our standards is 10.
Right. So technically that land is not fit for that type of operation. Like, technically that land already is like not supposed to be that type of operation. Yet you guys are saying, yes, we're past this operation, and it's not even supposed to be on that plot of land, because it's not even a big enough piece of land.
That's what yes, you're right, that's what the variance.
So it's like, and already, I don't even know if people realize that, because you guys didn't address that. Like, I didn't hear that anyway.
I did make comment that we would be speaking on those two.
Yeah, well, I don't think people realize that, because the only thing that circulated really was the public hearing for the actual conditional use, so I don't think people even realize that. On top of that, they want to do it on a tiny plot of land that's literally half the amount that it's supposed to be. That's not where this type of facility is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be on that land. And that's a big difference. It's not like, oh, we're doing it on 9.9. It's like, no, this is literally half of that land. So that doesn't even make sense. On top of that, people didn't want that in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's extremely that's kind of concerning that you guys are letting this happen when it's not supposed to be on this land.
Well, they can apply for a variance, that's why.
Right, but a variance is like, oh, like, it's like a little bit off, oh, my front yard is a little bit too close, whatever, like, this is not a small variance. This is like totally changing the rules. What's the point of having the rules there if they're able to build anything they want anywhere on a tiny plot of land? And if this is an intensive industry, like what they're gonna be doing, they're saying everything's contained. No, some of the water's gonna go down our drain, and it's still, stuff's gonna leach, stuff's gonna happen, and it's a small piece of land that should not be used for that industry. So I obviously oppose the variance, because that's ridiculous.
I appreciate the input. Council, do you have any questions?
Just for the variation, we could put a conditional in one of the conditions, I'm getting crushed. One of the conditions can just be size of the building, and they'd have to come back to council if they wanted to do expansion.
Yeah.
I think that'd be in our purview.
You can, but the argument is still the minimum 10 acres with the 5 point.
Yeah, but the big concern
Is the expansion, the use is, chickens. I like that Councilor Pelletier.
But does that, and already that type of facility is not supposed to be on this land, right?
That's
Because
why they're asking for the variance. Like, they're allowed to ask for the variance, and they're allowed to, could be an inch, could be a mile, like, they're asking for the variance. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but anyone can ask, like, it's not just about a little thing, they can ask for a big variance. Right.
But you should consider that that's like a big difference. And there's a reason why, like, do you know the reason why 10 acres? And do you know what other municipalities have? What is their bylaw for what size of land is supposed to be for this industry? Do you know how big Granny's is a bigger industry, do you know how much acres they have for their industry? Have you considered that? This is a valid question, do you guys know?
No, it's valid.
No.
Questions.
Because I would like to know if you guys have done that research, because it sounds whatever on paper, but you have to actually think of the repercussions of that land.
Okay. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. I'll keep it open if anyone else has any other comments to make with the variance quickly. No? Okay, I'll close the public hearing at 9:01 PM. Did I move and second this? So I'll ask for a mover for 6.2.2 V8 2023 amount precious meat, 570 and 618 Batosh Way. Mover? Councilor Pelletier, second. Councilor Bodnar, thank you.
Therefore, be resolved that variation application V8 2023 be approved with following conditions. One, that the conditional use application C13 2023 must be approved. And two, the applicant must meet all setback requirements for an abattoir meat packing facility as per the zoning bylaw, table 8-2.
Thank you. Open up for council discussion. Councilor Pelletier, you had a...
Yep, item 3, looks like their square footage currently requested is,
5,000 or 3,000?
3,000, I thought. No, four something.
It's 3,000 square foot, and he wants to expand to 5,000 square feet, he said.
Yeah, but I think the actual, on the plan itself, it was 4,000, because it's got that contained trailer unload area,
Okay.
building floor plan.
That's this 4,000 on there.
Yeah. So, let's do any expansion above 4,500 square feet. Will require another.
An amendment or something?
No, it's not right. It's an additional point.
Okay, so read it out and then I'll ask for a mover in a second.
Any
Expansion beyond 4,500 square feet.
feet?
Variation. Okay. Might have to figure that out later, but.
Okay, I'll ask for a mover on that amendment.
That's to add to an existing building or to build a separate one?
Any expansion?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask for a mover on that. Councilor Pelletier, second. Councilor Lemon, thank you. Discussion from council. Does council see this fit?
That's the best response, you can't expand, unless he comes forward with another conditional.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mr. CEO, you're humming in your head.
No, I was just considering this size of the building with the 5.4 acres as to the relationship of the building to the land. That's all I was trying to, sorry, mental math in my head.
No, that's okay.
At 9 o'clock.
I just wanna reiterate, sorry, I forget her name. Her point about, you know, yeah, these things have land, square footages for a reason, or acreages for a reason. If there was a spill, having a large piece of land would help absorb those, repercussions. On a smaller piece of land, it's going to other people's property. So I think there are those rules in place for those reasons, and we may have overlooked.
Sorry, being 9 o'clock, 9:05, did council debate the addition of the amendment? That's what I was.
Oh, that's what we're
Yes,
debating, I
sorry.
apologize.
Just want to make sure.
We're good with the debate, we're good with the amendment?
You got to vote on it.
Yeah, no, I know. Any comments?
Debate.
Yeah,
Are we
comments
good
on
with the
amendment,
final
sorry,
comments?
yeah,
No?
no.
Okay.
Amendment first.
Amendment
Yeah.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call for the question, all those in favor? Opposed, none, that's carried, thank you. Okay, moving back, Councillor Jeanine, for consideration, what we just said.
Thank you.
I'm curious, why is it 10 acres?
I think you gotta pick an overall size.
Yeah.
For these matters, for these businesses. I think.
Because when you look at,
Back to
when
the
you look at
question.
Goose Abattoir, it's not.
No, and going back to the question, we would more than likely pattern ourselves from other surrounding municipalities that would have these types of, industries and whatnot. Hence why we also put in there what's permitted, what's not, and under conditional use, therefore.
Because the Goose Abattoir in, Toulon is not.
There's like 200 square feet of parking lot and that's it.
Yeah, like it's not 10 acres, it's, and there's residence right beside it, that's, yeah.
The zoning part of it is, because abattoir and slaughterhouse covers a wide range of varying industries. Well, the result in the animal is the same, slaughtering a pig or 10 chickens is a totally different game, so, that's why you have a 10-acre minimum on bylaw.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Bill. Okay. Anything else from council? Okay, I'll call for the question, all those in favor? Opposed? That is carried 3-2. Thank you. Moving on to. Okay, and the roll just noted into
That's 8.1.
Oh, we're out of public hearing, thank you. 8.1, bylaw 7, 2023 tax levy, second reading, do I have a mover? Councillor Lemon, second, Councillor Bodenchuk.
Okay, we had the public presentation tonight, based on the feedback and the questions, not affecting the public presentation or your financial plan. I would recommend council to move ahead. Just one, slight friendly amendment to the plan. On page 13, we need to add, a $10,000 project, the Rendezvous lift station upgrades in the amount of $10,000 to be borne by the utility fund. Somehow it was cut off somewhere, in order for the bottom part to match the top part. We were out 10,000, we found that that's what it is, so it's just a friendly add addition to let you know.
Okay, council discussion?
Rendezvous lift station.
With that name, I'm assuming it's in, Saint-Agathe. And it's upgrades to that lift station.
Okay.
We're not building a new lift station, it's existing.
No, was it Marty's Rendezvous?
Yeah.
But he was paying for that, that's what I was wondering, but we will.
Figure out the naming rights.
Yeah. Question on you.
Is Saint-Gas getting more?
Okay, any other council discussion? No, I'll call for the question, all those in favor? It's unanimous, carried, thank you. 8.1.1, bylaw 7, 2023 tax levy, third reading, do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second, Councillor Pelletier. Thoughts? Okay, call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried, thank you. 8.2, bylaw A 2023, change road name in Grand Point Meadows, second reading. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bodnar, second. Councillor Lemoine. We've touched on this one.
Yes, basically changing the name from Turtle's Head Lane to Lynn Lane.
Yes. Council's good with this, any comments? Okay, call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried, thank you. 9.2.1, Mid-Canada GFL landfill compactor purchase.
Wait,
Oh, sorry.
third reading for the bylaw.
Oh, sorry, slip. 8.3, bylaw A 2023, change road name in Grand Point Meadows, third reading. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bonner, second. Councillor Boulanger. Final thoughts, call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried, thank you. 9.2.1, Mid-Canada GFL landfill compactor purchase. Do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Bonner.
This is the one we talked about, right, right?
This is in regards to our landfill meeting
Yeah.
that we had and purchase of the unit.
Yes, perfect.
Any comments? from-
Yeah, the unit is actually 949,000, because they spent 200,000 on fixing it. Sorry.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Any other comments? Call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried, thank you. 9.2.2, Mid-Canada GFL disbursement of funds. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier.
Again, as discussed, these cash surpluses, when we meet a certain threshold, there's payouts to be done between Mid-Canada, Green for Life, and the RM based on agreement percentages.
Thank you. Okay, council discussion, anything to debate on? Good. Call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried, thank you. 9.2.3, March 2023 building permit reports. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemoine. How are we looking?
After the first quarter, we're at 29 permits, estimated value of 10.7 million in value, and bringing in $20,000 in building fees, compared to last year's of 44 permits, 11.9 million in assessment value, and 31,000 in building permit fees, so slightly down for the quarter.
Thank you. Oh, I just lost my whole page. A little bit up for the month.
A little bit up.
Slowly.
Perfect. Any comments for council? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. We're on adjournment now. I just lost my page. Yeah, we're on adjournment. Okay, adjournment. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemoine. Final comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. We are adjourning at 9:12 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for attending. You can now stop recording.